Here we are. Today is the day I'm going to show you guys how to make over $10,000, possible onwards, upwards to $20,000, kind of like what our business is doing. Step by step, I'm going to put this GoPro on my chest and I'm going to show you guys how to do it, how to balance the hot tub, and how you can build this side hustle on the side while working a 9 to 5. But first, we're here at Starbucks. Let's get some coffee because it is 27 degrees outside here in the North Carolina. Good, brother. How are you? Appreciate it. Thank you. All right, so here we are on the next stop, which is Lowe's Home Improvement. And there was some questions with some people that they were like, okay, what chemicals do I need? What do we need to get started to actually, let's say, amazing, we landed a client. What do I need to get started? You guys can go to your local Lowe's. Dylan orders a lot of our stuff from Amazon because it's actually cheaper on Amazon. If you go to a hot tub or spa specific store, they do have all the chemicals you need. Just know they will upcharge the heck out of you because they need to make their profits too, right? So Amazon will be the cheapest. If you're at a pinch, you can always go to Lowe's. And I'm gonna show you guys what you will need. But first, Starbucks coffee. Oh yeah. It's 24 degrees since I recorded landing at Starbucks. It was 27, now it's 24 degrees. We are going the opposite direction here. All right, you guys, so when you're at Lowe's, normally by the outdoor section, you'll start to see all the pool and hot tub and spa stuff. So the things you guys will absolutely need is, some clients recommend, or some clients request bromine, but we use this right here. It's all-in-one sanitizer and shock from Clorox. So this has both shock and sanitizer. You won't need to worry about the shock. You will need a pH up. I've never really needed a pH down, but unless you have a lot of pH in there, you don't need the pH down. So all-in-one shock, pH. You'll need some test strips. This is what you guys will be reading to gauge whether the hot tub is balanced or not. We always get some anti-foam because sometimes the hot tub, we'll see today if it's foaming up, and if it is, we'll show you what the anti-foam does. And then you don't need any of this stuff, so what you guys will need are these chlorinating tablets. We get the 3-inch, no, the 1-inch. We get the 1-inch tablets, not the 3-inch tablets. So we need a bucket of this, and I'll show you why. And then last thing we need is, here we go, calcium hardness. Oh, and then we need alkalinity. Here we go, alkalinity. All right, so that's the things you guys need for this job. Also, as you guys saw, the only thing we needed was some calcium hardness, and I was low on pH up. But the other thing I do recommend you guys getting is a little bit of this carrying bag so you guys can put all your chemicals in it, and then this chlorine bucket. I just bring these two at the site of service, and then we just put this stuff in here. But that way you have somewhere to bring all your chemicals and you're not kind of holding it. I have a fun story to share about this one in just a second here. So we have re-upped on our calcium hardness and pH. I was a little low on that, but I wanted to show you guys that I do obviously use a little cobalt, just a super simple cobalt carrying case, carrying thingy from Lowe's. I think it's like $20 or something like that. So you can put the materials and your chemicals in there, and you're just carrying that throughout the sites. Funny story is, when we first had gotten started, love him to death, love my business partner and brother-in-law, but we weren't so professional in the beginning, and I saw him carrying it. He put all the chemicals in a little flower pot bucket thing, like a little pot holder, and he was just carrying this around in different sites, and I was like, yo, this looks so ghetto. We're definitely getting ourselves some bags. We are not going to be carrying no flower pots around while we service 100+ hot tubs around this area in North Carolina. Okay, so again, the chemicals you guys need, and I'll go off memory here. So the chemicals you guys need will be alkalinity, some sort of shock and spa. So you guys just need normally chlorine and shock, and that all in one is good enough to do that. You'll need the pH up, you'll need calcium hardness, and you'll need alkalinity. That's the only thing you guys need. Oh, and anti-foam if your hot tub starts foaming up. If your hot tub starts foaming up, you can kill it normally with some anti-foam, but in time you will have to eventually drain and fill the hot tub. So you'll have to empty out the water. That means the water in there is starting to get a little too crusty. It's getting a little too gross. So you'll have to do a drain and fill. But the anti-foam, I'm having some hard times talking right now. Maybe it's because it's 23 degrees, but the anti-foam action should be suffice for the job. So we are all good. We are topped up on our chems. We are actually on our way now to the hot tub location. Let's go. Alright you guys, so this is actually perfect. So the property we're doing actually has guests in it right now. So this is important to know. So if there are guests, sometimes the property is vacant. It's in between guests. So if there are guests, you're gonna see what I actually do. So first and foremost, you wanna make sure that you're able to be identified. So you're not just some random person. So I will wear my Blue Wolf hat up in here and I'm gonna identify myself, and that way they're not freaked out that some random person is coming in the back to do whatever, right? So I'm gonna identify myself, I'm gonna knock on the door, and I'm gonna say, hey, this is RJ from yada yada, and we're here to just service the hot tub in the back. You guys don't need anything, I don't need anything from you guys. I'll probably take 10 to 15 minute stops, and we're good to go, okay? So that's always important to know. That's things that probably you guys never thought about. So I do have my GoPro chest rig on now, so I'm gonna go ahead and put you guys on the chest rig, and we're gonna go ahead and balance this tub, and we are ready to go. Let's rock it out. Okay, so the guest obviously was not answering. There are gonna be some guests that don't answer. So I went ahead and called up the owner of the property and let them know to let the guests know that I'm gonna be servicing the hot tub. So I waited about 5 minutes to make sure that message went through. And we are actually now about to head in there and do our thing. Grab the chems. Let's grab the tablets. Let's go. She's looking gross. To see all that anti-foam buildup. So we got a lot of work here. I'll grab this little thing, some nipple nozzle, and I'll grab a water hose. This looks like we'll have to fill it up. Oh shit. Oh, that's not good. The water is frozen. Yikes. Gotta let the owner know his line is frozen, so we won't be able to fill it to the necessary water levels. Just keep that in mind. Okay, first thing is we're gonna take out these guys are wilding out over here. I'll take out the filter. Actually, you know what guys? We won't be able to clean the filter because the water hose is frozen. So we're actually just gonna be here and we are just going to just balance it. That's all we can do. But what we can do here is add some chlorine tablets to this because this thing is empty. So open the chlorine tablets. Toss a couple in there. So it's about full. And close her up. Okay. also important to close the hot tub, because if you don't, what ends up happening is the hot tub water starts to evaporate very, very, very quickly. Here. All right, you guys, so first thing we're gonna do is take out your test strip. And chances are this thing will be dead. So what you should see is super easy. You just need to line up how much hardness, chlorine, alkalinity, and pH level. So it's super easy to follow. So all you gotta do is dip it in here and then match it up. And you're gonna notice that there's hardness in there, the brown. There's calcium hardness. There's no chlorine, which is that second light right here. Hardly any free chlorine, no alkalinity whatsoever, and the pH is dead. So first thing we're going to do is raise the alkalinity levels. Here's our alkalinity increaser. So what I'll do is I'll turn the jets on. And we'll just start tossing this in there. Okay. First thing I want to do is put some anti-foam on. So we just bought some of that. Put some anti-foam. See how it's foaming around? And we dropped some anti-foam in there. You see it kind of start to dissipate and start to disappear. That's it. No more foam. Pretty good. So now we'll add more alkalinity. After a while, you're going to want to test it again. And now we're going to test for that alkalinity. So you can see it's still got no alkalinity. This one right here. So we got to put more. So one's good. Next thing you guys are going to want is your pH increaser. The main event, the sanitizer. So we got the all-in-one shock. Shock the heck out of this pool. So you're supposed to put like a couple ounces at a time. That's all we do. Toss it in there. Alright, so after you've waited a couple minutes, you can try your test strip again. Dip. You'll see you got chlorine levels, which are really good. Alkalinity is still pretty dead, and the pH level is still pretty down, so we're still going to add a couple more pH. But the sanitizer is all that's important, and we already got some good chlorine levels in there, some nice hardness levels. So let's just up this pH level right here. Alrighty, so let's do the final test strip, and let's match the colors here. And you will see it's got good hardness, good chlorine levels, alkalinities on the light green, kind of like on the 80 action. The pH level is still a little orange, but you can see right now it's on the 7.6 color. It's not that yellow that it was earlier. And that is it. So the last thing we need to do, this one here, is go to the configuration panel. This is specific to bullfrogs, but you go to settings, maintenance, and then maintenance reminders. So we rinse the filter. Unfortunately, we didn't do that because the water hose is actually frozen, but we'll just confirm that so it doesn't shoot off any reminders. And then we'll just reset all this, change the water. We can still do that in 62 days, but we could always just go. Ultimately, you could just do that and reset all of them, and you are good to go. So now you just close this up. Close the cover. That's important because you don't want any water evaporation. Push this and you're good to go. So now we're just going to pack up. There she is, the beast. So this one was actually a good video for you guys to see because the water was really crappy because the current guests are absolutely destroying that hot tub. They left the cover open who knows how long because the water will quickly start to evaporate without a cover. And the hose, the water hose that we use to refill and top off the water and to clean the filter actually was frozen because right now it's 24 degrees here in Charlotte, North Carolina. And so we couldn't clean the filter. The water hose was frozen. And you guys saw real time that what happens when there's guests, and you guys got to just pivot, right? But ultimately, let's rewind it back to actually bouncing the hot tub itself minus cleaning the filters because the hose was frozen. First thing is first is you guys need to add alkalinity and pH up. So balance the pH levels, balance the alkalinity. Once those two have been balanced out, then you can add your sanitizer, which you just saw me sanitize it with the Shock Plus sanitizer, which is just chlorine. And then once you get those to appropriate levels, then you add some calcium hardness. We saw on the very top line, the brown, which is the hardness levels, it was pretty high already, and that could be due to just the water Charlotte is pumping out. It is naturally high in calcium hardness and minerals. And so the only thing that you guys saw is we needed to pull out, in this case for this hot tub, which is a bullfrog, we had to add some tablets into that gray cartridge. Sometimes if the hot tub doesn't have that built in, you'll have what's called a floater, and it floats around the hot tub and it dispenses and dissipates chlorine evenly, and it should last you throughout the week until you come and service it for the final week. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and close this out and leave the property. We're gonna go ahead and go back to home base, and we're gonna go ahead and close this video out and see if you guys have any questions. Okay guys, let's recap this side hustle business that you guys can build on the side during your 9 to 5. So you guys just saw me balance a hot tub from start to finish. You saw me load up. We went to Lowe's together. We got all the ingredients that we need to mix up this concoction. Just joking. We got all the chemicals we need. And today we just needed to get our, I believe it was pH and calcium hardness that we were already out of. And we went to the location, and some real life events happened during this. So you guys saw, first and foremost, the water hose was frozen, and that's due to the weather. So we actually couldn't bring the water hose up to clean out the filter. So this is the step that is missing in this video. So just know that you guys would have to take out that filter and just rinse it with a water hose. That's all it takes. Just picture myself rinsing the water hose with the water bib, the jet that you saw me kind of take. Oh, I have it right here. It's this thing, right? And you can get this from Lowe's also. It shoots out a really fine stream of water, and you kind of use it as like a laser to just clean the filters in between the filters. This thing is like $2. I'm not playing. $2 from Lowe's. So use it to clean the filter. The next thing you do is you get the cartridge. In this case, this was a bullfrog specific hot tub. So in this case, you just put the chlorine tablets into that gray cartridge, slap it back on, and put it back into where it belongs in that bullfrog. If it is not a bullfrog or a hot tub specific where the dispenser is already built into the hot tub, you'll have what's called floaters, and it'll float around the hot tub. Some guests love to take these out because it's an inconvenience because it keeps touching them, but they should not take it out because it dispenses the chlorine throughout the week, trying to keep it leveled and topped off and sanitized throughout the week. So it does help. So if your hot tub, again, does not have a built-in kind of like a dispenser, it'll have what's called a floater. So those are the two things that you did not see in that video, but the rest of it was pretty much self-explanatory. You take your test strip, you dip it in there, you see what levels need to be brought to level, and then you just start adding the chemicals one by one. We started with alkalinity, and then the next thing we did was pH up, and then the next thing was sanitizer, and then we did add some anti-foam in there because you saw that it was foaming up, but once you added the anti-foam, it just absolutely went away. And I think that's it. That's all we did today. So you saw that we lined up the test strip for the final thing, looked at all the colors, and it matched up. Some of them, let's say the sanitizer, so the chlorine levels were a little on the dark purple. That's fine because as guests use that, so there were guests there today, as they use it, it'll naturally even out anyways. It'll balance itself out just because they're actively using it right now. So that doesn't hurt anything. And so I put the cover back on because you saw the guests left that cover off. It's imperative that they put that cover on when they're done because the water evaporates quickly right into the sky, okay? So we saw that they left that cover off for who knows how long. So I put the cover back on, reset the timers, and that's it. The only other thing that you guys didn't see me do is sometimes you'll see some scum buildup or residue like around the hot tub. I looked at it, it looked fine, but you'll just need to take like a washcloth or paper towel, or sometimes you could take the water hose and spray it out. But there was no residue, oddly enough. I'm surprised because that hot tub was really wrecked from those guests, but there wasn't any, so you just have to wipe the scum or the border of the hot tub off the shell. But that's it. That is all you guys need to do. That is just how easy it is to balance that hot tub, to service a hot tub. That is one. If you have one, that's $185 that you guys can land on per guest, per client, I mean. And so when you guys want to start building more clientele and you want to start making $10,000, that is just 50 clients in a year. And remember, we have over 100 and we've just been in business in 2 years. So it's not outside the realm of possibility that you guys can also obtain that as long as you market, advertise, and do good work. People will start to refer you. And that's what Dylan did. You know, when he was working his 9 to 5. I love telling his story because the dude is an absolute beast. I'm proud to call him my brother-in-law and my business partner, but he worked a 9 to 5, did this on the side. He did it during the evenings, and he built himself an amazing name for himself in that area. And that's what you guys can do for yourself as well. As long as you do good work, you can build a good clientele referral list that will start to refer you. Those owners, guys, believe it or not, they talk with each other. And so when one says, hey, I have someone I recommend, they do really good stuff on my hot tub, you can now start to snowball yourself. $10,000 a month, $15,000 a month, the sky is the limit on this type of business as long as you just keep scaling and growing appropriately. It is as easy as you guys saw me do it. You just balance the hot tub, you dip the dipstick, you read the chemicals that need to be brought up to levels, and that is it. We spent maybe 15 to 20 minutes there today. So if you're out there 4 times in a month, if you break that down to 15-minute increments, you're only there for an hour throughout the month. So technically you're charging about $185 an hour. And so when you have a nice clientele list, let's say you have 185 times 20, or let's say 25, you've managed to build up 25 clients and hot tubs, you're going to be making an additional $4,625 on top of whatever you guys want to do. If this is your solo gig, that's not a bad gig to do at $4,625. Now imagine if you're adding this on top of your 9 to 5. That is just icing on the cake. And then eventually when you guys create the YouTube channel, when you guys start building this out, now we're really cooking. Do you see the potential here? And this is why I'm kind of like trying to feed this to you guys. And again, all the props and credit to obviously Dylan, because I didn't know about this either. And I'm sure the vast majority of YouTube doesn't know about this either, because the fact of the matter is you don't know what you don't know. And I didn't know about this industry until Dylan kind of introduced me to it and brought me up to speed. And now it is just a division of our business, which is the general contracting business. It's just a portion of us. And that portion is more than enough to sustain 1 or 2 people. If you guys are deciding to do this for yourselves, you can even grab one business partner, divvy up 100 hot tubs, and you guys would still be making close to about 9 G's per person. That's amazing. That is truly, truly amazing. And that's more than I would challenge a 9-to-5 can pay you. So very, very cool stuff, very cool things that exist on this world. You guys saw some real world stuff that happened in that hot tub service. Guests were there. It was a mess. There were clothes and socks everywhere. They left the hot tub cover off. The hose was frozen. These are real things that you guys will encounter. And there's a lot of tips and tricks that I can give you guys throughout this video and throughout the next couple videos. And maybe even Dylan can share some of his stories. But that is it, you guys. That is start to finish on how to service a hot tub. Again, this is one of those things that is highly, like, people are blasting me on Instagram and the comment section. So I hope you guys really did enjoy this. If you found value in this video, do me a favor, subscribe to the channel. That's all, you know, we were out there today in 24-degree weather for y'all, so you guys can see real time. Subscribe, please. We're trying to grow this channel. I want more eyes to be able to see this, and the more eyes, the more people I can touch to helping them grow and helping them get closer to their ultimate goal of their version of financial freedom. Okay, I hope you guys did enjoy this video. Like, subscribe to the channel, and I will see you guys next time.